All right, so what's up, guys? We are back. So we got Gavin in here. Got Brian, what up, what up? We got Brett, Mel. Mel, are you hanging, Mel? Thought you were boycotting again. Well, cool. Pumped a couple of you guys are in here. So what's been going down? You guys hear me all right? How's the setup? That's good? Yep. Sweet, sweet. Big Feist. So we're back, man. It's been 2 weeks since we did the live. What up, Howard? What's going down? But yeah, I guess just a quick little recap. What up? What up? We got some Kansas. Minor kicks from Kansas. Got the notice bear. But yeah, just real quick. Let's see what happened here. So first we got sick. I got sick. Then Mel got sick 2 weeks ago. And I'm still kind of getting over it. I still got kind of a little bit of cough. But that took us out for the first Moto Monday. And then last week we were going to do it, and when we were setting up, we have this like stool where we're trying to fit too much stuff on a small little area. So now Mel set up this big table for tonight, so we didn't break anything. But the recorder fell off last week when we were setting up, and of course it had, instead of falling onto the carpet, it had to catch the corner of the stool that was on and bang the thing, and for some reason it wouldn't open back up, or wouldn't start back up. So we had no audio last week, so that's why we were like, it was just gonna sound super bad. But shout out to John Perky, because John Perky hooked us up with a brand new one. So he's a super cool dude. His son's been coming to every one of the RFMX classes since the very first month. He hasn't missed a class yet. So we actually were hanging out with him yesterday, because we did a class out in Green Valley. So big thanks to John Perky for hooking us up with a new recorder. We're stoked. So we're back. We are back. But that was why there was a 2-week delay. First it was the sickness, then it was the broken audio. But we're up and going again, and we're going to be back on track, trying to be back every Monday for whenever. We're just trying to stay steady again. So I'm seeing Eric Davis is in here now. What up, bro? Oh, no. He says, I've been homesick all day. That's not good. So, yeah, Eric's probably getting sick. He was hanging out. He was out shooting photos. Don't blame it on me, dude. I didn't get you sick. But he was out yesterday at the class. So we did a class yesterday, Green Valley. And it was crazy because first I had to switch. That class should have been last Saturday, and I had to switch it because I was sick. So then we bumped it to this Saturday, and then it poured on Saturday. And so then we had to push it till Sunday, and we pushed it till late afternoon because we got quite a bit of rain on Saturday. And so it ended up being a really small class, but everyone that was in that class was on a small bike. So I was a little worried when I showed up because the track was still kind of wet. And I was like, oh man, everybody's on 50s and 65s. But it ended up being a really good class, and it was super fun to just kind of have like all the small bikes together. But we lost 2 of our guys. Maddox missed out. He has a sprained ankle and a broken big toe, and he'll be back around for the September 19 class. And we lost the morning of. He was there on Saturday, and then on the morning of we lost Noah Shanks. He ended up racing Sunday morning, and he was hoping he was going to finish the race and be able to make it to class, but went hard, took the win. So big congrats to him taking the win out on his race Sunday morning. But because he went so hard at the race, he wanted to take it easy for the rest of the day, so he missed out on the class. So it backed the class down to just 3 people for the day. But like I said, went really well. It was the first time we got to do a class out at Green Valley and Track Suite, and so it was good. And I was really impressed with everybody. We had a girl out there. We had little Parker. So we had an 8-year-old. Oh no, we had a 6-year-old, an 8-year-old, and a 9-year-old. And Parker was the 8-year-old. She was on a little 50, and then her little brother, Colton, dude, little guy, was on like the super mini 50. So it's like the extra small 50, and he did really well too. And then Brixton, like I said, he's been coming at all of our classes. He just bumped up to a 65, and it was his first day, and he was learning how to use the clutch, first time on the clutch. And his kid's really good. He just started. My first class I did in April was his first time he's ever even been to a motocross track, and he was on a little Honda 50 there. And then he bumped up to a KTM 50 like 2 classes later, and now he's on to a brand new 220. He got a 2021 Husqvarna 65, and he's just progressing really fast. He's like a natural almost. So super cool to see him on a 65. Just having fun yesterday, doubling into the rhythm section, and cool to see how pumped he got. He was like, "I did it." I'm like, "Yeah, you did it." He's like, "What?" He didn't even realize that he was, excuse me, that he was clearing it completely. So next class is going to be back at Green Valley. It is, let me pop this up. I know Mel sets all these things up and I haven't been using them. So let me see if I can get this up. So next class is September 19th. Going to be back at Green Valley. And there's a couple spots left. So if anybody's looking, I believe there's 2, maybe 1 or 2 spots open for this class at the moment. And if you guys want to get signed up or want more info, just go to ronniefeistmx.com. Everything's on there. And then if you guys are new to the page and looking to catch up with us on all the other pages, at Ronnie Faisst is how we do it. So we are hanging and we are back. Making sure, let me see if I missed any other announcements. But yeah, so next class is the 19th. And then so, because we were home Saturday, got to watch the race. What do you guys think? Who do you guys, dude. Here we go. It's the computer. All right, I'm just going to pump this up like this and see if this helps. Dude, every week. I don't know why it does that. So it looks really bad. I'm going to try to brighten this up real quick. Too bright. Hold on. I don't know why it does that every week. Gosh, it like jacks it up, huh? Oh well. Dude. We have like the thing set up perfect all the time and then it just goes bad on us. Alright. That's not bad, huh? It's got to be a timer or something. And it sets in. It's got to be on my laptop. We got to fix that. We deal with this every week. But anyway, got to watch the races.
Turn the brightness down on the
I did. It's all good. We have like the thing set up. All right, so. And then it just goes bad on us. Hey.
You're real bright.
I know. She over here delaying. Anyway, I kicked Mel out of here, dude. Come on. So yeah, so we got to watch the race on Saturday. So what you guys think? Where was it? So we had 2 races at, we had 2 at Loretta's, and then the last weekend was at Ironman. What'd you guys think? I thought the Ironman track was pretty sick, in my opinion. Set some booters out there. Who you guys liking this year? I'm actually feeling Sexton style. I think Sexton for his first year on the 450, and him. He's a young dude. I think he's 19 or 20, but he is sick. He has just like, he's like Roxon. He has that flawless, effortless, perfect moto form, and I just like watching him ride. So I'm a Sexton's fan at the moment. It was cool to see Cincerello up there ripping. Pretty much almost won the moto. And then how did he drop back? I know he dropped back right at the end. But he was riding good the whole moto. But cool to be able to see the races going on every weekend. All right, well, I'm going to scroll back to the top. Make him pay, Mel. I'm reading some of you guys'. Yeah, Miner says Chase on the 450s. I'm feeling Chase. I agree. All right, so I'm going to scroll to the top. You guys, a lot of you guys been in here week after week. And the way we do it, we just, if you have a question, just chuck it in with the question. Uh-oh. You hear Mally? Mally's attacking Mel. That's too funny. But yeah, just do your question and put the question marks. So as I scroll through, I try to go all the way to the top. Uh-oh. What's going on out there? All right, Mel's not feeling our situation. She's sliding in here. All right, so I see B-Dub in here. Hey, coach. Watch that video. So, Brian, Mel's messing with lighting. Too
Yeah,
dark,
so
too
just-
dark, too dark.
It's fine. You guys just keep going.
So, Brian's laughing at the coach skit. Looks too dark. He just saw that. So, yeah, that was a funny one. Coach, that was good. Mel told me when I first started doing the RFMX schools that I should do a class like that with the coach outfit on. I think a little bit more. But if you guys haven't seen it, it's probably on YouTube somewhere, the coach skit. So we met, it's old. It's probably like 10, 12 years old, but pretty funny. The funny thing is, me and Deacon were laughing about it that I actually do coach now. He was like, it's meant to be, dude. But we got V-Dub in here. Big V-Dub. He said, I got my Feist 26 Feist graphic kit today for my pick bike. I saw it. I saw the pictures, dude. I hit you up. He says, have you had a chance to... Yeah, I did see them. They look good, dude. So, shout out to V-Dub for representing on the Feist kit. Pretty sweet. Came out nice. But the Feist kit is available. But what's making it hard for some of the people, they're only available through M7. It's a Canadian company that does my graphics, but they're only available for Huskies. So it's being hard. A lot of people are wanting them, but a lot of people don't ride Huskies. So they're like, hey, can I get them for my Yamaha? Can I get them for my Suzuki? And right now they're only available for Huskies, but I've been in contact with the owners over there, and we're trying to figure out if there's a way that we can make them available for everyone. So we'll keep you guys posted on that. But right now you can get them for pit bikes, mini bikes, small bikes, and big bikes. But right now they're only available for Huskies. But we'll see if we can help some of you guys out, because we know most of you guys are on different bikes. All right, so let's pop this up. We got Brett here. It says, do you like the carburetor 450 back in the day or FI now? Fuel injected. So let's see. So I actually think I would go with the fuel injected, to be honest with you, because you don't have to jet it. It's sweet. You don't have to worry about getting your bike jetted, and my bike never bogs ever. And back in the day when I had the two-stroke I went straight from, I'm trying to think, did I ever have a 450 that wasn't fuel injected? I'm not 100% sure. But anyway, I'm going to talk about my two-stroke, because I used to have to jet my two-strokes all the time. And then when I got 450s, I don't ever remember having to jet them. They just always were good. But if I would compare my 250 two-stroke on my carburetor having to jet it compared to my fuel-injected 450, the fuel-injected 450, in my opinion, is 100 times better, because I don't have to jet it, and my bike never bogs. It's always super crisp and on point, so I appreciate that. Kind of easier. So I'm all about the fuel injection. Yeah, so Gavin's here saying he saw the story and it rained hard. It poured on Saturday, and it came out of nowhere. That's the funny thing. When I went to bed Friday night, there was a 30% chance that it might rain at 3 a.m. and it was actually we didn't soak it on Friday night. So I was kind of like, all right, so if we get a little bit of rain, it'll be sweet. And then we woke up Saturday morning, and I didn't even check the weather. I just loaded up and was driving to the track. And then Mel sends me a text. She's like, it's 100% chance of rain today. I'm like, what? And then Eric was with me. Me and Eric were kind of peeking towards the east the way we were driving. No, it was north. The storm was north of us. We could see it. And we're like, it does look kind of dark over there. And sure enough, it started dumping. And we just parked at the gas station and watched it pour for about an hour before we even drove all the way to the track and saw how much damage it did. All right, so here we go right here. We'll get Eric up here. Oh, he says, see the pass 51 on 9 over the tabletop. Oh, that was sick, huh? That's when he whipped it, huh? And he threw his leg out and almost got back. That was pretty sweet. So, yeah, second moto, nice. Yeah, so that was sweet. So, he's talking about Barsha making the move on Cincerillo. So, that was sweet. So, let's see. All right, so right here, let's get Minor Kicks up here. He says, what is the best way to get back on the bike riding? Been 2 years and I'm a new rider all over and need to lose some weight. Definitely a good way to lose some weight. Dude, water and apple cider vinegar. It's supposed to help cure the body. So, it tastes kind of nasty, but Mel swears by it. All right, so the best way to get back into riding. Been 2 years, and you need to lose some weight. Yeah, I would say, you know, obviously, best way to get back into it is just to get back into it. I'd get a nice, safe bike, comfortable bike, something that, you know, it's not going to be too much for you, and just get out there, man. Start riding, you know. Go out to if you got a private place to ride, go out there and just cruise around. If you have to go to a public track, then go out to the vet track. Cruise around the vet track where it's mellow, if they have a vet track, you know. And just try to have fun, you know. Come out to a class. Get some coaching, too. I don't know if you're in this area. If you're in this area, come get some coaching. If not, see if there's a coach where you live and sign up for like a class, you know. And go get. You can never go wrong getting coaching. It's seriously, every athlete needs coaching. So if there's a coach by you, I would suggest that. But just have fun and take your time, you know. Cruise into it, you know. Go out there and just work your way into it. Don't go crazy the first day. So V-dub. But yeah, get a nice safe bike, you know. Get something fun that you're not scared of. All right, so we got V-dub dropping. We got to get V-dub up here. Always with the super chat. So nice shout out to V-dub. Showing love. Always. The giver of givers is V-dub. Much love to the homie. So let's see. We appreciate that, Dubski. So we got CQB here. He said, glad I made the live stream. First time overseas. Lived down the road from Metzger. So sweet, dude. Glad you finally made it on to the live chat, dude. I know a lot of people were trying to get on the last 2 weeks and I wasn't here. So if you guys missed out because I wasn't here, I apologize. All right, here we go. Here, let's get Anthony up here. Like I said, excuse me, I'm still trying to fight this cough. He said, you know, I've been working on the jumps, and I did a night race, and when it was light out, I cleared everything. The second motor's under the lights. I started coming up short. Yep, I remember talking to you before about this. It says, do you ride different when it's dark versus the day? At the end of the day, it does change things because we would. This is very common on. So that's normal. Dude, don't even think that's you. That's just normal. I don't know why it does that, but for some reason when it gets dimmer, it can mess with your judgment. So on the reason why I can relate to this super easy is when we were on the Nuclear Cowboy Tour. I don't know if anybody's ever been to that show, but we would ride practice around like 3, 4 in the afternoon with all the house lights on and be super bright. And then when the show would start, it'd be nighttime, 7, 8 o'clock show start, but we'd be in the show setting lights, which was dark. If you've been, like I said, if you've been to that show, you'll remember super, super dark. And they would just put a spotlight on you and you almost had to jump in the dark. And it was very common to either come a little short or a lot of times go a little bit too long. You'd go too fast at the ramp because you couldn't see it as good. So I think that's just normal. Whether you're going, you're coming up short. I actually used to go a little bit deeper than short when it was dark. But I think it's just something that messes with your eyes. I would just say keep riding, keep going out there and if you know that you are coming up short, then just carry a little bit more speed. If you know, like, okay, I've been coming up short these last couple of times it's been dark, I think your eyes just got to kind of get used to it. But I think that's something that a lot of riders deal with because I've definitely noticed that. At the dark shows we did back in the day. But yeah, just carry a little bit more speed and you'll be good. All right, so let's get David up here. So I got a question. He says, I'm a beginner rider, and the squeeze with your legs is important, but I forget any exercises or techniques that I can do to help. Here's just first thing I would say is on your crossbar pad, write a little note. And then just put, whether you want to put whatever would remind you, squeeze legs. I don't like to say pinch with your knees. I like to say pinch from your ankles through your calves, which will which will put your knees to the bike. Because I feel like if you just try to pinch with your knees, it almost makes your lower part of your legs loose. So, but if you pinch down low, starting with your feet, like grip, get on your bike on the stand in the garage and grip with your boots on and grip down low and watch. If you grip from your ankles through your calves, it'll automatically put your knees close to the bike. And I think if you just write a little reminder note on your crossbar pad that you can glance down, then you can constantly tell yourself, because it's one of those things, like when you're trying to learn a new technique, you got to remember to do it. So the more, if someone's like constantly at class, I'll always be yelling at someone, hey, put your elbows up, put your elbows up. And I'll tell them for, throughout the whole day, and they remember, and then, 10 minutes later, they might be thinking about their knees, and then their elbows will drop, and then I'll have to tell them again. So when you're trying to learn something, you have to think about it. So if you have a little note in front of you, just a little easy reminder, you look down, you're like, oh yeah, my knees. And then you'll find yourself loosening up again. You look down at the note, boom. A lot of guys used to write their runs out like that on their tricks. They used to write every single trick down on the crossbar pad. So good little cheater way to just give yourself a reminder. But I'm all about like muscle memory, man. Get on the stand. Don't be scared to get on the stand in the garage and just do like bike stand drills. Get on the stand and stand up, gripping your legs like you would as if you're riding in good rider position. Arms up, head forward, butt back, and then sit down where you would sit as if you were in the corner and put out your leg at the same time. Instead of sitting down and then trying to get your leg out, which can cause you to catch your foot in the rut and drag you off balance. Learn how to sit and put your foot out at the same time. So then go from here, standing up with a good grip, and just get used to gripping, and then sit down, put your left leg out. Stand back up, grip, sit down, put your right leg out, and just do bike stand drills. It's muscle memory. It's like you should start working those on the bike. When nothing's going on, it's a lot easier when the bike's dead still sitting on the stand, to think about what you want to do, your legs, your arms, where your hips are, putting your hips back, and then sitting down and making sure you're sitting in the right spot. You don't want to sit too far back on the seat in the corners, but you don't want to sit too far up. There's a nice little neutral place where you can sit, where I believe it's right to where your butt's almost directly above the foot pegs, to where all that weight's going like down the center of the bike, and you're still able to create some weight to the rear wall, and then you roll your head forward a little bit and create some weight on the front end. You don't want to get too far back, but at the same time you don't want to be too far forward to where you lighten the whole back of the bike up, and when the back tires are spinning, there's no traction because you're sitting too far forward. So practice that. Get on the stand and just muscle memory. And that way, now when you go out on the track, you've already been doing this for 15, 20 minutes a day at the house. You're going to naturally start to squeeze when you stand up. Your hips are going to rotate back where they should, because you've already been doing that. And then when you go to sit down, you're naturally going to sit where you've been sitting in the garage. You're not going to be too far back or too far forward. You're going to sit muscle memory. You're going to do what you've been doing. So do those things. Taka used to sit in my garage. And I talked about this before on some other ones. He would sit we'd go ride for an hour. Taka would come in. And if you guys don't know who Taka is, he's a 4-time gold medalist in freestyle, one of the best riders in the world. He would come in, watch the video that he would have his wife film him. And then when he was done, he would get back on his bike and go through every single trick on the stand. And this is like, it's mental training. It's visualizing, it's picturing yourself doing it. And they've done studies with other athletes that this doing visual type of training is just as good as actually doing it. So that's what I'm saying. So he did it for freestyle. You can do it for moto. You can get on there and just start working those basic body positions, sitting in the right spot, leg up, tilting your head. You can picture yourself riding. Like, I would say that if you're going to go race on the weekend, you should know exactly what line you want to race before you go out there, even for your practice. Before you go out there and ride that track, you should already know where you're going. You're not just going out on the track and just letting the bike take you wherever you want. And you should have a line set in your mind that you are sitting during the week prior to the race day, going through in your mind, where am I going on that track? Okay, here I am. And you should run that track from the starting line all the way through and do laps. If you do laps all week long every single night, by the time that, and you do perfect laps, you have a way better chance of going out there on the weekend and doing 5-6 laps if that's your local race. Perfect laps. If you do them all week long in your mind, you have a way better chance of going out there on the weekend and doing a perfect 5-6 lap moto. I did that with my freestyle career always. I knew exactly what run I was doing, what trick I was doing, and I would go over that run, over that run, over that run. I just visualized myself doing it. It's mental training, but it seriously works. The best guys use it. So get in the habit of taking advantage of every single type of training you can do. And a lot of it could be just, on the stand or just in your own mind of picturing yourself doing stuff. So here's Noah. So we got Noah Shanks is in here. So here's our buddy that missed out yesterday, but we'll see him next class. All right, sweet. So let's see. We got Eric Davis. Did I finish the taco story? But he went through every single trick every single day. And I watched him dominate he won like 3 years in a row back to back. And I gave him credit. None of the other freestyle guys were doing that at the time as far as the stand stuff. Like a lot of guys did the mental visual picture in the run before they went. But actually being on the bike and moving around, putting his hands, he would jump back and go like this. I've never seen anyone else do that but Taka. And he dominated for 3 years and beat all of us. So I give him credit for the extra type of training he was doing. One up in the rest of the comp. All right, so we got Eric Davis here. He says, what are some fun Deegan stories? I think when I think of fun Deegan stories, honestly, I think of all the funny skits me and Deegan did back in the day. And he was always involved with it. Like, was he in the Skalansky? Or he was Skalansky. Deegan was Skalansky. He was the cop. So we did funny skits back in the day. I don't know. Here's the thing. Go to Dave Dawes' YouTube channel because he was the guy that filmed all our skits. And look him up. But they're probably some of the funniest memories I've had of just me and Deegan goofing around. We always had a funny sense of humor. But Deegan's a funny dude. And he still does skits. I still see him goofing around doing stuff on his YouTube page. So it's pretty funny to see him still goofing around. All right, so let's get Jesse up here. He says, hey, I really enjoy working out. It is bad to be doing cardio 4 times a week. Is it bad to be doing cardio 4 times a week? Usually work out 4 times. Wow, you work out 4 times a day. Hey, I don't think it's bad to do cardio 4 times a week at all. I think training's good. Just don't overtrain. I actually had to make sure, like when I was really going for it at X Games, I had a tendency to want to do a lot of stuff. So you want to make sure you don't go overboard to where on competition day that you're burnt out. You gotta train hard, but make sure that you're well rested for the day of competition. That you don't train so hard, overtrain, and then by the time it's competition day, you got nothing left in you. So I don't think there's anything wrong. Because like now that you're saying, like think about this. You're saying I usually work out 4 times a day. Honestly, when I was on top of my stuff, that's pretty close to what I did because I rode in the morning, I went to the gym in the afternoon, and then I would end up doing some type of other off-the-bike thing. I used to cycle a lot. I used to run this hill all the time, and then I'd go to karate in the afternoon. So that's 4 times of four workouts in a day too. So I get it, and just like I said, give yourself time to rest before the weekend if you got to compete. But better shape you're in, better you're going to feel out there on competition day, that's for sure. All right, so we're going to shout out to Big D here. Big Dan hooking us up with a super chat. He says, hey, Ronnie and Mel, love your work. Cheers from down in New Zealand. So that's pretty cool, man. So what up, Big D from New Zealand? And I had the opportunity to come to New Zealand years ago with the Krusty guys, and I was a really, really... one of the most beautiful places I think I've ever traveled to was New Zealand. Super pretty, super green. It was a pretty fun trip. So thank you. Appreciate it. Let's see. All right, so is it Kareen? I don't want to mess your name up. I hope I said that right. And I know I've seen you on here before, but he says, have you thought about a career in TV or film? I would like to see that. Yeah, I should be a karate actor, right? No, I should have got into acting. It would have been sweet. I'm not. The thing is I'm terrible at remembering lines. That's my problem. That's where I would probably struggle. But if I could just get up there and have some fun. Have you guys ever seen the skit I did for Fuel TV? I posted on my story a couple times in the last month because people kept posting it. I don't know where they found it, but I got to do this karate skit with Fuel TV a long time ago, and it was so fun. Those dudes that I did that with were real on like Hollywood actors who were in all like the Jackie Chan films. Like, dude, those dudes were legit, and I got to work with them and do a fight scene. It was super fun. So I would have loved to be in martial art films. I kind of grew up being like a super big Bruce Lee fan, always a martial artist, and used to love every karate film, Bruce Lee film possible. So I would have loved to have been in Hollywood. Should have gave it a shot. And she's hooking us up with another super chat. So thank you. And I'm calling you KS because I don't like messing people's names. So big shout out to KS. Thank you so much. We appreciate the super chat. And I know I see you here all the time. And I feel like I probably asked you if I said your name right last time. I apologize to everybody's name I messed up. If you have not noticed, I struggle at spelling. If you haven't noticed, go to my stories and check it out because I even messed up today. When I said live, I spelled it L-U-V-E. Mel calls me out constantly. It's the spell check on my phone. I swear I can spell better. I know how to spell live. Well, I just don't. I guess I should proofread my stuff before I hit send. I always mess up and just send it. All right. So we got you dude on here. He said, this is awesome. I don't know of any other athlete sports that do this. Thanks, bro. Most reliable 450. All right. So, hey, we like doing this. I know Deegan was on there, was doing it for a little bit, and I don't know if he still is, but I think it's cool that to get a chance to connect with all the fans and all the people that been following the page and my career. So I didn't get to do this stuff when I was competing because I was always so busy going around the world. So this is cool that I got time to do this. So I like doing this. So pumped to be back here. We'll keep it flowing. So most reliable 450. Honestly, I think the bikes are all good these days because it's just where we're at. I really don't think you could buy a bad bike. I think what it comes down to is just personal preference. Like, which ones do you like? Because I've rode a lot of them, and I rode Cowie, and I love my Cowie. I ride a Husky, and I love my Husky. And I rode Twitch's Honda a couple weeks ago, a month ago or so, and I thought that thing ripped. Only one I haven't rode in a really long time is a Suzuki, which I did ride at one point. I just haven't in a really long time. And I honestly never rode a Yamaha. But they're the only two bikes. But I rode Deegan's KTM before, too, and it ripped. So I think they're all good. I think it just comes down to which one you feel most comfortable on. So I don't think you can really go wrong these days. But I will say, I think Hondas are super reliable. My dad was always a Honda guy, and I grew up riding Hondas, and we've really never had problems with any of our Hondas. So I think Hondas are super reliable. But be honest with you, I've been on Husky since 2016, and I've only had, the only thing that ever went wrong with my Husky was the hydraulic clutch has blown out the seal. It's like a 5-minute change to change it. But that's the only thing that's ever happened. Whoopee. And so that's not a big deal. And on my Cowie, I never really had any issues. So like I said, I think all the bikes are built so good these days. I think you're solid on just riding which one you feel the most comfortable on. All right, so let's get Brett up here. It says, what are all the variations of freestyle ramps? Is a super kicker used for the 120? No, the super kicker is definitely not used for the 120. Super kicker is normally, the super kicker is the most steep one. It's normally only set up at 45 feet. So it's usually set up really short. We pulled it back at Deegan's house. Me, Deegan, and Twitch. I think we pulled it back to 55. And dude, it was gnarly. Because we normally jump in first gear. And it sounds kind of weak, like, yo, you jumping in first gear. But you got to remember, you can go pretty far in first gear on a 450. You can jump it in second at 45 if you like. But first gear is more consistent. So that's where most of us use it. But when we kicked it back to 55, you had to hit it in second. And this thing was booting us. So I couldn't imagine having it much farther back than 55 feet. It's the one they did the double flips off of. I don't know where they put it at the double flips because I never did a double flip, but I would assume it would be pretty close to probably 55 feet because I believe they do them in second gear. So 120 super kicker would be gnarly. I don't even know if you'd make it because it kicks you so high. But the other variations, so most of them, they call it a comp ramp, and it's the standard freestyle ramp. So there's really three. You got the comp ramps, the 75-footer, the popper ramp, which is the 45-footer, and then the 120-foot ramp. So there's really about 3 ramps that you'll see in freestyle. And the comp ramp is the most common one. And you can put that thing, I mean, you could put it, you know, small as 60 feet if you wanted to. But most of the time that ramp's set at 75, 80 feet, depending, you know. Some people like it at 70. It's 70, 80 feet. 75 is pretty much where everyone in California, if you go to Fitz's house, you go to Deegan's house, you go to Potter's place, you went to my house, 75 foot. All of us had ours. 75 foot, and you watch a video to the sweet spot, so you could be landing. And I don't want to get too picky on that, because some people get 75 spot to the knuckle, and then you're landing at about 78. Some of them will do 73, 72 to the roll, and then you're landing at 75. So it all depends where you want to be, but say 75 is the most common distance for the comp ramp. So about 3 different ramps. All right, so I'm gonna make sure I didn't miss anybody. So I'm just reading comments. So he says, I was also across the street when you guys went out. So he's talking about a skit. So we did a skit. You guys probably remember. It was in was it in my video or one of Deegan's videos? It was one of Dave Dawes's, but we did the skit. I think it was in my video when we robbed the 250s out of Temecula Motorsports, and the cops actually rolled up on us. They really thought we were robbing it. We were just doing a skit. That's pretty funny. All right, so what is your favorite color in jersey? What is my favorite, like my motocross? So I'm assuming, what is my favorite color in a jersey, a motocross, buddy? I'm assuming, let's see, what do I like wearing? And I think you're asking what is my favorite color in jersey, motocross. Like what color do I like wearing the best? I'm going with, what do I like? Because I got my white bike. I like the all red on my bike, to be honest with you. I think all red looks cool on my bike. I tried to do a mix and match yesterday. Some people were feeling it. Mel said it looked terrible. She wasn't liking it. I tried to wear the neon flow green with the red, and I was trying to match the sleeves. If I had neon boots, it probably would have looked sicker, but whatever. But I like red on my bike a lot. I think red looks cool. I'm trying to think. I like that snow camo. It's white with red. I think that looks good. I like that one too. I'm all about the Shift. The Shift has really cool stuff, and they're new stuff. But I'm really I'm a fan of red gear for some reason on a white bike. I think it just pops. And blue. The blue gear with the white, that one looks good too. So red and blue. I'm going with that for sure. The blue looks hard with the white bike with the red. Red, white, and blue, baby. What is your favorite psalm? So I'm going to go Psalm 91. I would say that. Only reason, because I think I studied that one the most out of all the psalms. So Psalm 91 would be my favorite. And it's a psalm of protection. The Lord, He is our shelter. And then we rest in the shadow of the wings of the Almighty. It's something like that. I don't know it word for word, but I know it goes something like that. But Psalm 91, definitely a good one. He who dwells in the secret place of the Most High shall abide in the shadow of the Almighty. I think that's how it reads. It's been a while since I studied it, but I remember going through that one a lot. All right, so let's get Jesse up here. So it says, next race season, would you and Mel want to sponsor me in racing? I'll do it for free because you're my hero, and it would be an honor to have your business and ours. Yeah, man. So, Jesse, DM me. I mean, like I said, we can't do much, but hey, we'll set you up with some tees and some stickers, and we'd love for you guys to represent R from X or Marked or represent the company for us. So we're down to take care of people. We want to give back, so we'll definitely hook you up. So DM me, and like I said, we don't have all the Marked stuff or even the R from X stuff in house yet. But when we get it, we're gonna be able to do some cooler stuff like Jesse's accent. So we'll definitely send you a little love when we get everything. But give us a few months, because everything's taking a little bit longer. like everything in life, you think you're like, hey, I'm gonna get that done this month, and then it's 2 months later and you're still trying to get it done. But our goal is hopefully to get the R from X done this month, and then next month do the Mark stuff. That way by hopefully the beginning, so we're in September, October, by the beginning of November, we'll have both companies running out of here at the house. So hey, so we got my homie Billy. We got to get Billy up here. Yeah, if I saw Billy, my homie Billy Lanovich. You guys probably know him. Billy is a racer, one of the best whippers out there. He used to come over to Pat all the time, just throw down whips. We used to moto a ton at my house together. And super cool dude, Christian, loves the Lord. So cool to see Billy in here. It's been a while since we've hung out. We got to hang out next time I'm in Cali. But dude is sick. If you don't know who he is, look him up on Instagram. He's bad on the bike. So cool, that's cool. All right, let's get Chase up here. All right, so does it feel different to hit a ramp on a two-stroke from a four-stroke? So yeah, I would say it does. I'd say it's definitely felt a little different to switch from the two-stroke to the four-stroke. Obviously, the four-stroke weighs a little bit more, and obviously, or the four-stroke. Did I say that right? The four-stroke weighs a little bit more, but I like the heavier bike, to be honest with you. Because think about this, if you ride a bicycle and the bicycle's light, when you let go of the bicycle, what's the bicycle want to do? It wants to float around. Same thing when I switched from a 250 two-stroke to the 450. 250 two-stroke was a little bit lighter, but then when I went to the heavier bike, when I would let go of it and do a trick, it was way more stable with the extra weight. So I actually liked the 450 better. And the same thing, 450 gets more traction, has more torque. So it really helped on the courses where some of the courses had tight run-ins or really dry. It was an advantage to be on a 450 because you could get over the jump easier. So that helped a ton, being on the 450. And to be honest with you, it flipped easier. And we were all nervous about flipping the 450 because we thought, hey, this bike's heavier. It's gonna be harder to pull this thing around. And come to our surprise, all of us didn't over-rotate to the point we fell off the back, but all of us came in nose high the first time we flipped our 450s, because with the extra torque and with the extra weight, once that initial gyro started off the ramp, it actually rotated faster. So I actually like the four-stroke better, but if you go back if you ride a four-stroke and hit the ramp for a while and then go jump back to the two-stroke, you're like, you're like, whoa, this thing feels weird. So it is a difference, and it's personal preference at the end of the day, because there's still a lot of European guys that still ride two-strokes. Taka still rides a two-stroke. Adam Jones still rides a two-stroke. And a ton of Europeans. Most of the Americans went to the four-strokes, and a lot of Australian guys are on four-strokes. But there's a whole grip load of guys still on two-strokes. So it comes down to what you like. But I think a lot of those dudes who still are on two-strokes, I don't think they ever gave the four-stroke a chance. Jones never tried to do, or as far as I know, I don't want to say he never did, because maybe he tried and I don't know about it, but as far as I know, he never tried to go to the 450, and I know Taka didn't, because he kept saying, no, I don't want to. So I think a lot of those guys didn't even give it a chance to try to see which one they like better. They just said, hey, I'm comfortable, I'm solid on my two-stroke, and I'm sticking with it. And they didn't want to, because there were certain things that you did have to adjust once you did make the change. Certain tricks felt different on the four-stroke, especially cliffhangers. All right, so let's, oh wait, is that the same one I just had up? All right, I just had that one up, sorry. All right, so let's get KS back up in here. It says, what is the most unique gear you've ever owned or worn for a show? That's funny. And as soon as I was reading the question, I was just thinking, when I raced the Pro Nationals in 1996, I wore this gear called Wolf Sport. I don't even know if it's even around anymore, but it was seriously the ugliest stuff out there. But it was free gear, and I didn't have many sponsors back then because I was a privateer, so I was just pumped to get free gear. But I don't know if you Google Wolf Sport, if anything will come up. It was a European company, and it was hideous. But that was probably the most unique stuff I ever wore. That's pretty funny. All right, let's get Brett back here. How many variations of whips are there? So let's see. You got the standard whip, classic whip. You got the turn down whip, and then you got the turn up. So I would say 3. I would go. There's definitely 3 clearly different style whips. Turn ups, if people are wondering, like turn down is kind of Twitch. Kind of was one of the first dudes to start doing the turn downs, but the turn up is kind of Hanson. I think is the first dude to start doing the turn ups. Billy could do some turn-ups, huh? And then, but I think Axel kind of put that one on the map of being like having the turn-up super gnarly. But Hanson's sick, dude. Hanson kills it. I was just watching a video of Hanson today, Supercross. Did you guys see that clip? I think he posted it either on his story or on his Instagram. I just love Hanson's style. He rides so far over the front end. He's just sick, dude. Hanson just has technique. He's just a good rider, dude. He's just fun to watch. He don't have to do anything but go through the rhythm, and he just looks cool. So I enjoy watching Hanson. But yeah, so I'd say 3 whip styles. And I think it's cool if you can do all 3. Like, I just think it shows, like, just bike skills. If you can go out and, boom, crack a standard one, boom, do a turn down, and go out and throw down a turn up. I just think it's cool you do all 3 back to back. And a lot of guys can. A lot of guys can do them all, which is pretty sweet. All right, so let's get JKD243. It says, when we go, it says, when are we going to ride? I'll definitely rep the brand at the races. I need a banner. Yeah, I just got the banner down in the little, we're kind of setting up the little mini warehouse down. So I'm going to do a video when we get everything set up. But we got the little mini warehouse, so we got some banners. I'm going to get some more made so we can hook you guys up. Get some RFMX banners, some Just Pennant banners. But, dude, let's go rip. If you're in the area, Kingsville Thursday nights and Grain Valley Wednesday nights seems to be the 2 local tracks out here that are open on a weekly basis. So most likely catch me out at one of those ones. All right, so let's give a shout out to Rhino Power. All right, so let's see here. It says, dude. All right, so let's get dude. Do you know how to build a ramp, materials, dimensions? I do not. I get asked this question all the time, and I need to. I should probably search out the dimensions, and then somehow make them a free downloadable. That'd be cool. So Mel, let's do that, because Mel's all about free downloadable stuff. So let's find the dimensions of the ramps, and let's do a free downloadable freestyle dimensions, because a lot of people want to build freestyle ramps and they don't know the dimensions. I don't personally know them, but I probably could track them down. I bet Mickey Diamond has them. So let me reach out, and then that would be a cool thing to have on the website. Just as a free downloadable, if anybody wants to build a freestyle ramp, here's the dimension, here's the radius, here's what you need, and then that way you guys can weld them up and do that. I think that'd be cool and helpful. So I'm gonna look into that. That way, and materials too. What type of materials that they use? So yeah, that's awesome. We're gonna jump on that. Billy's saying not that good. You talking about your turn ups? They're sick, dude. No, he's downplaying it. His standard whips are huge too. It says, can you do all right, so let's get Britta. He says, can you do all 3 whips? Yeah, Lanos are gnarly. I can do a standard whip. None of my whips are gnarly. My whips are like so-so. So I can do a regular whip, which is so-so. Not even, it's just the guys are so good these days. Their whips have gotten so gnarly. Like, it's just crazy how good they are. Like, Twitch used to win best whip all the time now, and there's no way he could stand a chance now, because the other dudes are like, yeah. And I can't, like, my whips are probably not even as good as Twitch's. So, but I can do a regular whip, and I can do a turn down, and my turn down's so-so. And my turn ups are really weak, but I can kind of get the bike to do it. So they're like baby turn ups. But, so I don't know if I can claim I got 2.5. because I would need to work on my turn-ups before I can claim full turn-ups. But I did practice them because I wanted to learn them and get them good. So I was practicing them for a while. I just haven't practiced them without a ramp. But they're fun. So that's one thing, like, if I end up ever getting some land out here, I'm definitely going to get a ramp set up. Because that's one thing I do miss. I miss just riding the ramp, and I don't care about doing anything gnarly. I would just like to go hit the ramp, jump, do some turn downs, some whips, maybe a couple tricks that I know I could pop off just because dude, I love riding. I love riding the ramps. I've rode ramps for 20 years of my life, and I got to hit one early. I hit one in like March. I got to ride one like early spring out here. There was one set up, and I haven't got to ride it since. So I want to get back down there. I actually want, finally, so I know I've talked about getting a new bike for a while now, but I'm going to wait until after the new year and get a new bike. And then I'm thinking about turning the one I have now into a freestyle bike. And then that way, because there is a ramp set up, it's about 45 minutes south of me. And then that way when I want to go down there and hit that ramp, I have a bike that has a better setup than stock suspension and stuff. So where we at here? Need some R from XDBK gear. Yes, sir. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. You can still get it. I mean, the R from X stuff is still available right now, but we're just going to bring it in-house here within the next month and run it right here from the house. And we're changing everything. I know I've talked about it a couple times. We're going to upgrade, try to make better quality, better everything, better customer service, better return policy, better everything. That is our plan. It's like anything. When you start something, you always want to improve it and make it better. So we got it started, and now we're taking the next steps to make it better. And we think running it ourselves right here from the house is going to be the best way to do it. All right, so someone's asking about Seth. So we got Adam here. He said, where's Seth Enslow? Seth's still around. He's on Instagram, so look him up. He's still around. He's hanging. I think he's doing construction these days. I don't know how much he rides, but I'm trying to think. We did a lot. We did like a... He was just on this live. It was like one of those Zoom calls, and it was me, it was Seth, Travis, Deacon was on it. It was like a crusty thing. It was John Freeman was on it. So I actually just was on the phone with him. Maybe a month and a half ago. So I got to hang out with him, I guess, for a sense through the internet. But he's still around. He's still doing good. So look him up on Instagram. He's hanging. And we got another super chat from KS. Thanks, she's doubling up today. I would love a signed portrait of you and your wife one day. Will you tour the demons again? I don't. So she's from Australia. So if you guys, a lot of you guys know what the demons is. Crusty Demons Dirt. So I probably won't be over there with the Crusty Demons just because I don't even know. Are they still doing that tour? I think they still do, huh? But definitely we can hook you up. So let's stay in touch, and when we get all the Mark stuff in, get some Mark stickers and stuff, we'll definitely get you some type of sign, something. We'll make something happen for sure. So we appreciate the love, KS. Down under, cheers, mate. Love it down there. Another cool place I got to visit many times. Was down there like 6-7 times throughout the career. Australia is awesome. Cool people. Probably the nicest people, huh? All right, so let's get Brett back up here. It says, have you ever done the quarter pipe? I never competed at the quarter pipe, but I have hit a quarter pipe over at Larry Linko's house. I had one set up, but nothing like the way those dudes are boosting it now. Those dudes are gnarly. That's a gnarly event. I give those dudes tons of respect because there's no wiggle room on that. If you notice, what they have to land on is like this. If you come up short, it could get dirty real quick. And if you go deep, you just go out to the flats and from that height. So that is a really technical, gnarly event. But much respect. So I've have hit one, but like I said, my height was nothing what you see those dudes doing at X Games. But they're pretty fun. Cool to whip it off of them. Well, sweet. We're kind of narrowing it down here. If anyone has any, we got about 5. We usually go for about an hour, so we got about 5 minutes. So if anybody has any other questions, if I missed anybody, oh wait, did I miss this one? Yeah, I think I missed this one. Let me get this up here, Blake. He says, what is your gnarliest experience in FMX, good or bad? Gnarliest experience in FMF, good or bad? I would probably say the journey to the 360 was it took 3 years with how many times did I crash? I crashed 3 times before I landed it. So that was probably one of the longest journeys, and with injuries and just setbacks, and then having to overcome fear and just having the pressure, because I kept trying at X Games. So just the recap on the story of this, so you guys can follow what I'm talking about. 2006, I'm like, hey, I'm going to do a 360 at X Games. There wasn't many people doing it back then, so I figured, hey, if I can land the 360, I'm going to for sure be on the podium. So I figured I need to do a 360 at X Games. So my 2006, I tried it off the popper ramp. If anybody was there, I was at the Home Depot Center. I landed backwards. I didn't even get close. I totally got scared on the lip and didn't fully tug it. So when I went off, I was like, oh no, it's not going to work. So I basically just froze up and landed backwards, did a 180, ended up separating my shoulder, and had I think I fractured my wrist too, like a small fracture, right? Big Feist was with me. But I know I separated my shoulder. Anyway, the very next year, so then the next year there was all this hype. Hey, you're going to try it again. So 2007, everyone's like, hey, you're going to do the 3 again. So now I'm feeling like, man, I got to do it. I said I was going to do it last year. All right, I'm going to do it again this year. So I came out the very next year, same place, Home Depot Center, and I went for it in my first run, saved it for my last jump. And the first time I rotated it, but I came in kind of hot and fell off the back of my bike, and I got knocked out. It KO'd me for real quick, knocked me out, and I woke up, and then they took me back to I remember being back in with the medics, and they checked me and said, you're all good. And then the officials came out and said, hey, we're going to give you a rerun, because I don't know if you guys remember, I hit the cameraman in that run when I did the neck flip and knocked the camera guy out. Well, they said that was interference, so now they're like, hey, we're going to let you try it again. If you want to do your run, go ahead. Well, I had to run out and get my practice bike because I mangled my contest bike up. So I grabbed my spare bike, had to pull myself together, go do a complete whole run, and then try the 3 again because that was my last trick. I don't know how I made it through my run. I actually stuck my whole run and crashed the 3 again, but I came in sideways this time. I landed on my foot and I broke my foot. So now I have 3 attempts, 3 crashes, and, minor concussion, broken foot, separated shoulder. So I've had, all these setbacks. And so it just had this, I started thinking about it for 2008. Are you going to do it again? So there was that hype again. Are you going to come back and do it again in 2008? And I'll be honest with you, I was really nervous about it at this point because it wasn't going well. And the more I thought of it, I would think about it and I'd get nervous. So then I go practice it in the foam pit, but I was so nervous about doing it before X Games on the dirt, which is usually the best way to do something, because then by the time you get to X Games, you're confident. If you land it on dirt before you get there, you're confident at X Games that you can do it. If you don't, then you get to X Games and you're on this 50-50, hey, can I land this or not? I don't know. I only did it in the foam pit, so you have that craziness going back and forth in your head, and that's what I was battling with. Just the what if you crash again? What if this goes wrong? And it's just and to be honest with you, I never had them consistent on the 45-foot ramp ever. When I did them in the foam pit, I'd get 3 or 4, if I tried 5, I'd probably have maybe 2, 3 if I was lucky, and then 2 of them would be bad. So they were never 5 in a row consistent. Probably why I didn't try it on dirt, because I was never fully confident with it. But by the time I got to 2008, because it went so bad in the first 2 years, I said, let me try it off the big ramp. I don't know why you think that would be dumber, right? So I set the 75-foot ramp up to the foam pit, and I went for it. Now I started coming in a little bit more consistent. I wasn't perfect, but I was actually a lot closer than I was off the 45. So then I thought, maybe I'll try it off the big ramp this year. And now I was really nervous about it because now I just doubled my gap, doubled the crash, right? If you're going to crash off the 45 versus 75 is going to hurt worse. But I decided, I said, you know what? I'm just going to go for it. And I did the same thing. I went through my whole run and finally landed it in 2008. and it was like a monkey off my back, but that's it. I landed it, and it was like sweet, cool, and then never wanted to do it again. And then I just took it off the list, checked it, say, hey, I did it, and that was it. So that was probably the hardest, gnarliest journey of overcoming, like setting this goal out, but then having it go wrong every single time you try it, and then having to try to overcome it's a mental game. It was a mental, it was a lot of fear and what ifs, and so when I finally landed it, go to if you put in Ronnie Faisst 360 on YouTube, I know Metal Militia posted a video. You can watch my whole run. I landed at the end. It was during day qualifiers. But, dude, I was so pumped. I felt like I won the gold medal because – and I think I was so excited that I didn't crash. I was like, yes, I'm not going to the hospital. I'm in one piece. So it was a journey. But I was probably mentally the hardest thing I put myself through in my whole career was doing that, was getting through that 360. And here's the thing. When I landed that, I was the 5th guy to did it at that time. So I was the 5th dude in the entire sport to do that at that time. And then since then, if you count right now how many guys do 360s, still to this day, I guarantee you can't get to 10. That's how gnarly that trick is. That's how hard it is. That's the thing. Think about when the flip came out, everybody did a flip. When the flip tricks came out, everyone did the flip tricks. When 360 came out, a few people did it, and a lot of people didn't. It just shows you, when you don't see the entire, all those dudes, the top dudes in the world are all legit, the best. They all can do anything that they put their mind to. But when you only see part of the field doing it, there's a reason why you see part of the field doing it. It's a hard trick. It's hard to dial in. And like I said, even to this day, you only see a few guys banging those out consistently. So I think it's a pretty cool trick to do. And I'm glad I got one little clip of me doing it. I wish I had a cool still of me doing it, because I don't. It'd be cool to just put that one on the wall. But anyway, so that brings us to about 8 o'clock. So, mail's coming in.
I'm going to help you end this because there's a few.
Oh, I missed a couple. All right.
Well, we'll just rapid fire.
All right, let's do a couple rapid fires, because I like to get everybody in there. We'll go a little late today, but I like to get everyone that comes in. Was it Adam?
Well, Brett, just with the story you just told,
okay.
He asked, did Nate, Adam, or anyone help you with the 360?
No. Deegan did for sure, because Deegan obviously landed him before. So I was learning him at Deegan's house in Deegan's foam pit. That was a foam pit that I trained in, was the one at Brian's house. So Nate didn't. Deegan for sure gave me pointers all the time. So took some pointers from Brian. But that was really it. But Deegan had a different style when he did them versus the way I did them too. And Deegan did he do him off the bigger ramp? I know when he first landed his was off the 45. Oh, I don't think Deegan ever did him off the 75. Now I think about it, because remember, he did him off the 45 at Summer X Games when he landed it right before Travis. But then that very next winter is when he went to Winter X and tried to do it off the icicle and got hurt. And then after that, I can't remember if he came back and did him again. And if he did, I think he might have only did him off the 45 footer. I'm not sure, but I definitely took some tips from him for sure.
You have a super chat from Adam.
Oh, I do? All right, so let's get super chat.
And then he has a question.
Yeah, I saw that question I was going to pull out. So thanks for the super chat. Much love. God bless you too, brother. And then we're going to get your question up here real quick, because I did see it when I was scrolling.
He was just asking if Mike Metzger is still up in Big Bear doing mountain bike stuff?
Yeah, I saw that question. Where is that?
Just don't find it.
All right. So the question is Mike, and it's from Adam, so we'll kid him up with a super chat. So he says, Mike Metzger still in Big Bear doing mountain bike stuff? As far as I know, he is. I think he lives up there. I think he tattoos up there, and his kids are into downhill mountain biking, and I think he's still doing a ton of that. So I believe he is, as far as I know. And the funny thing is I haven't heard from that dude, and he just randomly texted me the other day. I'm like looking for it. Friday. And I'm going to just read it to you, because I thought that was funny. Because Metzger, me and him were like, we hung out a ton when when I first moved to Cali. He was one of the first guys that tattooed. He said, Above the Clouds by Gangstar. Makes me smile and always makes me think about you. He says, I hope you're doing well. I hope you're doing great, brother, and living blessed. One love from my friend, Flow Like Water. So that was cool to get that from. But because when I first moved to Cali, I was like the East Coast guy that listened to all the East Coast hip hop. So Gangstar, Above the Clouds was one of my favorite songs. And I used to make Mike listen to rap. Because all those dudes listen to punk. When I moved out there, Deegan and Mets and Link, all those dudes listen to punk rock. And I was like the dude from Jersey that listened to hip hop. So it was kind of cool that he heard that song come on. And he's like, that's Feist. Feist listens to that. So I thought that was sweet. So shout out to Metzger. Metzger's a good dude. He hooked me up a ton when I moved to Cali. Hooked me up with his dad and gave me I used to work for his dad, so much love to the Metzger family. They're good people, and they did a lot for a lot of other people, not just me, so I don't forget that stuff. So shout out to the Metzgers.
These are not rapid fire answers.
Oh, sorry. Hey, I'm a rambler. That's how I roll. If you guys haven't noticed, I like to talk.
Okay, quick. From Bird.
All right.
40B. How many times did you do the 360 in a foam pit before you did it on dirt?
That's a good question. I don't know. But not a whole ton, because here's the thing. The foam pit is not as fun as everybody likes. So it's not like you'll go into the foam pit and do, it's not like you go into the foam pit and do like 10, 15. You probably will hit like 5, and then you're over it. So you do a couple in the foam pit, and you're done. But to be honest with you, I don't necessarily know. But I would probably say, because I would try them every day, I probably tried at least 20, 30. But a lot of them were misfires.
Okay, 27 Racing says that you should do the race at Grain Valley this weekend. There's one. And then, I don't know if you...
Can you guys hear her? She's just in here in the dark.
I don't know. And then,
Get in the shot. Get in the shot here.
No.
Oh, no, she's not coming. She's not feeling
if
it.
you can find one
She don't have a race
Justin-
face on.
Justin Gambino.
Gambino!
He's wondering, are there adults in your classes?
Yes.
Because he needs maybe a little refresher.
Yes. So, no, there is. They're for sure adults. This class I just did this past weekend, so if anyone's seen posts, was 50s and 60s. But normally, it's we take everyone. Sometimes we got a 450, a 250, an 80, a 65. It doesn't matter. Most of the people or beginners or early intermediates that come through the class, but we take all different bike sizes. We're down to teach. I'm down to teach anybody who wants to learn. So if you're looking to get some training, there's, I believe, 1 or 2 spots available for September 19th.
Put the date back up there.
And go to Ronnie Faisst MX. I'm looking for the stuff. And you get all the information on the class. And then, like I said, September 19th is the next one. And we will be doing an October class and a November class here in the Midwest before we head back to California for the winter. So, go check it out, guys. Thanks for hanging out here on Moto Mondays. Good to be back with you guys. And we will see you guys next week.
Bye, guys.
Someone said, tell her to stop being scared and get in there, would you? Peace out, Billy. Race face. Good to see you, man. I hope I see you when I'm in Cali. I'm coming out in January. I'll be at Twitch's house. So come hang out. He's getting a pool put in. So let's go kick it by the pool, dude.
In January.
Hey, it's Cali. It'll be hot in there. I'll see you guys next week. Later.